As tourists and vacationers enjoyed Virginia Beach this Memorial Day, a handful of armed activists marched along the boardwalk.
Say her name! Which one? 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 Say his name! Which one? Say his name! Which one? No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
The chants may be familiar, but the coalition on display is a unique one. Black Lives Matter 757 is a controversial Virginia-based BLM group who has caught condemnations from the wider social justice activism community for demonstrations like this one. The men accompanying them are members of the Boogaloo Boys, a loose-knit anti-government movement that proclaims alliance with the left on some social issues like police reform and ending the drug war, but broadly believes in unrestricted gun rights and private property. Critics of their movement point to the term boogaloo having been used by white supremacists online. Some also label the boogaloos accelerationists, suggesting that they ally with BLM groups to exacerbate civil unrest rather than in genuine common ground.
I've heard a criticism of boogaloos that there's that like when they ally with Black Lives Matter, that it's in the interest of like accelerationism, that there's sort of an ulterior motive, or that something like that it's not out of true sort of alliance. Like, how do both of you feel about I'm sure you've seen those.
I am not black, clearly. I have been messed with by police wrongfully, and I know that as a black person, you are definitely more likely to be messed with by police, and that's why I think we should put ourselves on the line for those of them who are persecuted by police.
That's right. We know y'all out here enjoying y'all seasonably cold weather. That's right. Exercise y'all right.
Some people said boogs are white supremacists. We stand for the rights of all. It doesn't matter what political background you come from, what color you are, what you identify as. It does not matter to us. We will stand for your personal rights.
With us, we feel like there has been a lot of misconception. A lot of our experience with BLM 757 is more so hands-on and in-person experiences. And so when you meet with individuals and you're not just going off of media headlines or tweets or things of that nature, you actually get to talk to your fellow man. It opens up to you can actually see what people are about. So we're fully open to having a conversation. Like I said, they've been stepping with us now. Like I said, it's been 365 days, and so being in this fight as much as we've been in it now, we've been in some life or death situations, we've been in some traumatic situations, and in those moments you really see who's really there, because these aren't situations that are scripted out in a movie. There's no guarantee that everybody's going home. There's no guarantee that everybody's going to be safe, and when these situations play out, you can really see in those moments, we really would have went to prison together. We really would have died together right there in that moment. So it's like it's that for me. So nobody's going to be able to say anything to me to deter me from the interactions that I've had with individuals. Nobody's going to be able to say anything to me because I go straight for the horse's mouth. We don't speculate, and we're going strictly off.
Actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely. So like I said, we've been stepping together. Like I said, we didn't know who the Boogaloo Boys were until July 4th of 2020, and people had to pretty much spoon feed tell us what they perceived of them, but our actual interaction with them, it was none the lesser. So we, like I said, we don't like we don't like people speculate about us and spread false rumors. So we try to return that when individuals spread false or may possibly false information about other individuals, do our own research.
This unusual local alliance began on July 4th, 2020, when a prominent Boogaloo activist named Mike Dunn organized a pro-gun rally in Richmond.
They may arrest me today. I don't know. I just know that the power.
And we will de-arrest you.
Wow.
And we will de-arrest you.
They ain't been arresting
Because the power
us. We've been out
belongs
here
to
since
the
day one.
people.
Not today.
When BLM 757 showed up armed, the groups teamed up rather than counter one another.
Not black versus white, it's all of us versus blue, right?
Thank you, brother. And it's not even all of us versus blue. It's against the police brutality. It's against the murders. It's against the lack of accountability. Because I know for a fact there are good cops out there because I've seen them. But at the same time, if you're a good cop and you don't stop the bad cops from doing what they're doing, then you're a piece of shit like they are. If George Floyd would have been a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white guy, I still would have been pissed. for what they did to that man. They showed up for a fake $20 bill, not a double homicide or armed robbery in progress. And they murdered that man.
This is ours. This ain't the governor's. This is ours.
Over the barrier. Over the barrier. Locked arms. Locked arms. I can't lock arms because I have on too many firearms. But locked arms. Locked arms. I would, but I got one under my arm. That's got the most bullets in it.
Hey, they tried to say that boogaloo was a white supremacy term. I'm tired of every term we come up with giving to older white guys who didn't do nothing for it. We all know what boogaloo is.
At that rally, a white nationalist adjacent group called the Propertarians also showed up, ostensibly in alliance with the pro-gun message.
We're on here for one thing, but just how we check our people, if they get out of hand, you guys need to do the same. They can't just be like putting their hand up and then saying white supremacy and stuff like that. Come on now, this is not what we're here for.
Yeah. BLM 757 and Boogaloo members united in their response.
White supremacy sucks! 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 White supremacy sucks!
White supremacy sucks! White supremacy sucks! White supremacy sucks!
White supremacy sucks!
Go the fuck away! Who the fuck's exterminating?
Nobody's a white supremacist. Yeah, people.
The state capitol grounds closed this holiday weekend because of the possibility of protests. Still, a large group gathered on Bank Street speaking out against new gun laws.
Local reporting from the day was limited, and one CBS story characterized the event as a simple pro-gun rally with the Black Lives Matter organizers as counter-protesters.
Gun control advocates say those measures will make Virginia safer. A group of counter-protesters also showed up, as you can see, but nothing really developed beyond a brief verbal exchange.
This was an outright falsehood.
Yeah, and so in that, you know what I'm saying, we met them for the first time. It was a Second Amendment rally, and people need to stop thinking that just because people gather for one specific cause means that they endorse every other ideology of everybody there. We were there for the Second Amendment just like a lot of other individuals there, and that's why. We can come somewhere on something we agree on, and we can stand in that space with that.
In the nearly year since that first demonstration, the groups have rallied together several times throughout Virginia. Notably, mainstream media generally did not cover those events. In spite of BLM 757 announcing this rally on social media, no other journalists showed up. The Memorial Day weekend rally concluded as rain began to pour on Virginia Beach.
Your Second Amendment's for everybody, and that protects you, your First Amendment, to say how you feel.
And what is all of your kind of view of the police in general? Both generally policing, but also how they've kind of treated you at events like this?
And I would like to quote, fuck the police coming straight from the underground. So, like I said, with us, like I said, we feel as right now, you know, there's no good cops in the racist system. We feel like now is the wrong time to join the force until they do a complete overhaul. You can't train people to not be racist. You can't pay and put resources into people just making the wrong decisions. And we feel like giving them more and more money, we haven't seen any results from, you know, doing that. So that's why we wanted to, you know, defund and reallocate those funds to even, you know, individuals like these. So if you gave them the $1 million budget to secure the neighborhood, just like us, or BLM groups, or Panther groups, or whatever, if you give them the same resources that they're giving these officers, but these are actual people who live in these neighborhoods, who know what's going on, they know people are going through certain situations where they won't be, you know, as hostile towards them. And you know, every situation shouldn't result in you shooting somebody or tasing somebody or pepper spraying somebody. It's de-escalation. So so we just feel like I said we're on the brink of something beautiful. Like I said, people will see it for what it's not, but it's unity, and there's really no other way to explain it.
You said the phrase "no good cops in a racist system" to the boogaloos here. Do you basically agree with that like mindset? Like, are you on the same page about that?
Yeah, we are. I can't speak for everybody in the group, but I would say so.
All the rights for all the people, all the time.
That's it.
And our minorities are a lot harder to oppress.
While details aren't quite clear, the coalition said they plan to organize another Independence Day rally for 2021. Ford Fisher, News to Share, in collaboration with TK News.